Yeah. Got an issue right now with the brakes. I don't know what's going on here. But every now and then, not all the time, just sometimes when I come to a stop, it feels like the brakes are grinding. I'm like, what's up with that? I just replaced the pads. Sounds like it's coming from the front. But yeah, I replaced the pads not too long ago, so I don't know. It doesn't happen all the time, it only happens sometimes. Come to the stop and it feels like the brakes are grinding. Alright, so I got the truck jacked up in the air and I'm checking the wheel bearings, you know. Side to side, top to bottom. Both sides seem okay. I don't hear no grinding or nothing when I spin the wheels. But I did notice on the other side some play in the wheel. So let's see how this comes out here. If I can illustrate, you see us checking the wheel bearings side to side. Hands at 9 and 3 o'clock, and then at 12 and 6. Looking for some play. Well, I got play alright. Right there, see that? But if you look very carefully, you can see the tie rod moving. This should be solid and not moving like that. Yeah, so I suspect I got a bad tie rod end, and it's not on this end here. This would be the outer. I think it's the inner, which is behind this boot. From what I can tell from now, before taking the wheel off, that's one problem. Okay, so that's what it looks like with the wheel off. And what I'm going to do is disconnect the outer tie rod end. I'm going to give it a couple smacks here. I gave a little squirt of WD-40. And hopefully it'll just pop right out and I won't need the special tool. There's a special tool to pull this out. Yeah, it hooks under here and then it pushes on the stud up here as it kind of punches it out. But sometimes you can loosen it up with just a couple of whacks of the hammer. Just like that. I've had other ones give me a hard time before, and what I ended up doing was screwing up the threads on the stud there, and that just made more problems. So you've got to be careful with this stuff. It should pop right out like that. I put the nut on there so I wouldn't damage the threads, you know. No way. So I suspect my play is in this side. This is fairly good. Let's see. Yeah, it's got a little play. Well, I took this side apart only because I wanted to compare the play in that one to the play in this one and see if there was a difference, you know. And yeah, there's absolutely zero play in this one. The ball here is nice and tight. So crap, I guess I'll have to change that side out over there. Yeah, so this is the driver's side. I don't know where you can hear that, but you can feel it and hear it when you push and pull on this thing. Back from the auto parts store. Here's the new part. Import direct was like 36 bucks. It's not what I wanted. I wanted the Moog brand. But as usual, you know, O'Reilly's doesn't have it in stock. They can have it for me Monday. I go, shit, Monday is no good. I need it today. And that was about 60 bucks, I think, for the Moog brand. So we'll just, you know, what am I going to do? I don't want to wait till Monday. I hate they put stupid packaging. There, that's all it is right here. There's the new ball joint. You can see it's got flats on here for some type of wrench, and I got the tool here too, so I'm going to do that. But first I gotta unscrew the outer tie rod. So you got a lock nut on here, you got to bust that loose, and then you can unscrew the outer tie rod. But you don't want to screw your alignment up too bad, so you want to, when you put the new one, or when you put it back together, you want it to go in kind of the same place. So I'm just going to, let's see, yeah, I'm going to mark it. I got some marking paint here, I think it still works. I'm just going to mark the threads. Yeah. Just for reference, you know, a reference point. And then I can measure where this nut goes on the new one, because see, this is the new one right here. Get that out of there, yeah. You know, it might be slightly longer or shorter, who knows, you know. It's the Discount brand. Okay, so I got the outer tie rod off, I got the nut off, I got the little clamp off, so now I can pull the boot off, make sure the boot's okay. I'll have to put a new, probably a zip tie on here. That'll do. So now I gotta unscrew this thing in here, and there's a special tool for that. So I had to rent the special tool, which is, let's see, something like this, kind of like a socket. Let's see, this just goes in there like that, I guess. Must be the bigger one. Here, I got it on upside down. Oh, it goes on like that. Yep, there it is right there. And then I gotta give it a little tap, make it fit in there. Alright. And then it's got this other thing that goes on there, which is kind of like a big flashlight. You put your socket on that side, and it's got a socket on this side that fits over the rod like that. There you go. Now, I think I can do this with my impact, I hope, without screwing things up. Whoa. There we go. And there you have it. Let's see. It's nice when you got the right tools. Oh, before I go any further, yeah, here's my mark I put with the paint. That's where the lock nut's gonna go. So I'm just gonna check the dimensions on these two, compare them, and they look pretty much the same. I'm gonna put a little mark on the thread here. And that'll get me pretty darn close to where it was as far as alignment goes. I wanted to show you the ball here. See the ball in there? See the ball in this one? Now you can't. It's packed full of grease. That's the way it's supposed to be. This thing's looks pretty dry. Dry. So now I got to bend those little metal tabs down, and that'll keep the thing from coming loose, I assume. Alright, I was able to get in there with my channel locks and bend those little tabs over into the flat spot of this nut thingy right here where the ball goes in. So that's done. I can put the boot back on. Reassemblage. Alright, it's much nicer on this side of the truck because it's in the sunshine, but we're starting to get some high clouds now. So gonna hurry up. I'm almost done. I want to take this rotor off and buff up the rotors with some emery cloth. Right now it looks like it's a polished finish, you know. I guess it's what they call glazed. It's kind of glazed, so I'm gonna rough it up with some emery, just by hand. You know, that's what my book says to do. So the first thing you gotta do is, after you take the caliper off, is take the rotor off. It's the same as the drum brakes in the rear. A couple little screws in there, and that'll push it off. There you go. Yeah, just a couple little bolts here. I think they're 8mm in the two holes that are threaded on the rotor. That'll push the rotor off. If you got a little wire brush, you want to clean some of this rust around here and on the back side of the drum here. So when you put it on, it goes on nice and flush. You don't want no little specks of dirt in there making the rotor crooked. Yeah, I don't see anything else wrong with this truck, so I don't know why the brakes are grinding. Or it feels like it's grinding. I have no idea. Maybe I'll take the backs off too and check those out. You get the idea, okay? Just buffed around circular motions with the two different grits there. What you do want to be careful about when you're working on brakes is the dust. You know, the dust isn't good for you. Got my little wire brush here. Wire brushed all the rust off there. Off the inside of the drum here. You know, you don't want to be breathing that dust. Just like this crap right here. It's all brake dust. So put this bag on. It's going to fit on there tight. So I'm going to tap it on. I can only assume that when I tighten up the wheel, it's going to tighten it up. Alright, so now to put the caliper back. The only thing I noticed with this thing, seems to me like the inside brake pads are wearing faster than the outside brake pad on this side. This is the passenger side. Well, yeah, it looks like the inner pad is wearing faster than the outer pad. On this particular brakes, there are 4 pistons outside and inside. So I don't know about that. I've seen that happen before when the wheel bearing's bad because the rotor's loose. The rotor is not at 90 degrees because the bearings are worn. The rotor can be tilted one way or another, inner or outer. I have seen pistons freeze up before. That usually locks the brakes up. Okay, so I don't know. For right now, this is going back together because I'm done for the day here. I'm going to put everything back together, take it for a test drive and see if it's still grinding, because I don't see anything else wrong. I haven't looked at the rear yet. We'll see if I get into it or not. Well, that's it. Yeah, that's it from sunny Southern California. What happened to my sunshine, you know? I think it's supposed to rain tonight. Anyway, I got to take the tool back. I got like a $100 deposit on the tool, and test out the brakes. Grab a beer on the way home, right? Till next time.